G'day, welcome back to the 40 channel. So, what is the go with the Troopy and why am I putting the 1965 FJ45 on hold for a couple months? Let's find out. Righto, there's some big stuff happening. I've put my hand up to go on the long drive for a drought. Now this is pretty cool because all it involves is 40 series Land Cruisers going out and doing some fundraising for all those communities in northwest Queensland that have really struggled over the last few years, whether it be drought, flood or COVID affected just because tourists can't get out there. These communities are really struggling and they really need our help. So Long Drive for a Drought has been going on for a number of years and I've always wanted to go and join the crew. This year I've decided I'm going to bite the bullet and I'm going to go. The Troopy. What the heck? So I've already had some guys go, you are absolutely crazy for thinking about taking the Troopy on this trip. Why? Because this is the way I've picked it up and I have not done a single thing to it. It's sat in my backyard with zero love and nothing done to it from the day I drove it off the truck to the day I've sat it right here. Now I've already had it said, why the heck would I take the Troopy when I have a beautiful FJ40 fully restored, ready to go, fully mechanically okay to go on this trip? And the reason why I want to do that is because so many of you guys out there have old 40 series Land Cruisers that either don't have the time or the money, or you're happy with the look of the old school way and you just want to have it mechanically sound and reliable and drive it the way it is. So that's what we're going to do with the Troopy. It's a bit of a beast and to be honest I don't really know how reliable this thing is. I know it drives, I know it starts, I've driven it off the truck, I've driven it around the property that I bought it from and I've driven it forward and backwards when I've mowed the lawn but that's about it. So I wanted to be able to show that anyone that has an old 40 series Land Cruiser can still enjoy it without putting a huge amount of money and a huge amount of time and a huge amount of effort into it. But there is some key main focuses that have to happen no matter what vehicle you have. And they are your safety factors. Righto, so having said that, there is no budget for safety on this vehicle. We have to do tires, brakes, wheel bearings, suspension bushes, the springs and shocks look okay, so we should be able to continue to use them. And we'll check out all the safety parts of inside the vehicle too. So the airbag, scratch, that's gone. ABS braking, that's gone. We don't have to worry about any of that stuff, but what we do have to worry about is seat belts and how the seats are mounted in this vehicle. Which takes us to the next part, comfort. Now, being a long wheelbase, it's going to be a lot more comfortable than taking the shorty, especially on such a big long trip and some dirt roads. I want to make it looking this thing a little bit more comfortable than what it already is. In a 40 series, fingers crossed. All exciting stuff to come. We've got a lot of work to do in a short amount of time and I've probably picked the worst time of year because it's winter, we have a lot of wet days and the family is pretty much out every single weekend with sport. So I really have chosen a mammoth effort to try to make this happen in such a short amount of time. And at the end of the day, the backup plan is if I can't achieve it, well, the FJ40 comes along and this one stays at home. That's the backup plan, but we'll see how we go. And we're naming this thing Hopeful because I'm hopeful to get it done. Righto, about this vehicle. It's a late 1982 FJ45 RV. Now this vehicle in its previous life was a mines rescue vehicle out west. So it's got a whole lot of bits and pieces all over it from its old mining days. There's dual fuel tanks, dual batteries, water tank, 12-volt outlets all over the vehicle. At some stage I had a full roll cage going over the entire cab which would have had some type of roof rack system on the roof. Now on top of that, this vehicle was optioned up with all the goodies straight to the mine site. It had genuine power steering and genuine air conditioning, but 2 owners ago decided that they wanted it more, and they've ripped it all out and put the standard steering back in it. Luckily for me, I actually have a unicorn piece, and I've got genuine 40 series power steering, which will bolt straight back into here as it came from the showroom. As for the aircon, I'm not sure what we're going to do there, or whether we'll even go back down that road again. But wanting to build this truck as a comfort tourer off-road rig, where we don't mind if it gets scratched, knocked around or dinted, we could add aircon a little bit further down the track. Under the bonnet, we've got the mighty straight 6 4-litre 2F motor. Now this thing is an absolute beast, super reliable but super thirsty as well. And yes, it does need a little bit of love, if not a lot of love, under the bonnet as well as everywhere else. Now, being an ex-rescue truck with the dual batteries, all the 12-volt outlights, lighting all through the truck, there is wiring, spider webbing all through this truck all over the place. I don't want to get too involved with that. I just want to give it a quick tidy up and make sure that it's safe. Besides that, we don't want to get too much more carried away than that. As well as stealing the aircon and the power steering, they've also stolen a couple of the doors off this thing. But the most incredible thing about this truck is what is on the center console. Yep, it has less than 100,000 kilometers on that motor, or so I'm told, unless that got swapped out as well. I can only go off the previous owners told me. So that's the tour of this truck, and as you've seen, there is a lot of work to be done in such a very short amount of time, and I'm going to need a whole lot of help. So I'm really going to hope that the family can jump in on this when they're not at sport, which they all are today, and I'll probably be calling on a few mates to help us out too. So the full plan of this truck's use is practicality: camping, four-wheel driving, take it out bush. Doesn't matter if it gets scratched, doesn't matter if it gets a little bit of a knock or a dent in here, there or anywhere. So the idea is to make it as easy and as practical as possible and build it as you drive it. So it's not going to be stripped down in a shed and off the road for months and months, if not years. So the idea is hopefully what most of you guys do with your old 40s, to keep them on the road. You're just going to be doing everyday maintenance and adding all those little touches that make it a cool truck and unique to you. But having said all of that, this build could really upset a whole lot of viewers out there. Why? Because there is going to be a stack of parts going on here that aren't genuine. There's going to be a stack of things done to this truck that a lot of people won't agree with because it's a get it on the road truck. And we could even do some funny things like, who knows, we could even do a closed door respray on this thing to make it look pretty on the outside. Yes, all these are blasphemy words in the 40 series Land Cruiser world. But this build is really dedicated to all you guys out there that enjoy driving your 40s and making them your 40 and individual to what you want and your needs and what you want to do. So, having said that, we better get into this thing and see what we can do next. I think the first thing we're going to do, maybe just start with the doors. Anyway guys, that's it for this quick little roundup video, little tour of the FJ45 RV and what's to come with this in the next couple of months. So guys, I really appreciate your support, and actually I really hope to get your support on this particular vehicle, and I really hope that I get your guys' support to get this vehicle out on the road for long drive for a drought. Righto guys, feel free to leave some comments. I'm expecting a whole lot, and until next time, take care of yourselves.